Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Rotary. Now, with such a title, it actually brings me back to the first car that I bought, which was a gift for Mrs. Sleuth, which was a Mazda RX-8. And the Mazda RX series are famously using the Rotary engine, which might not necessarily leap to you when you see the word Rotary, but when you look at the actual puzzle and the grid, which we'll do that now as well as the rule set, it feels like this is very much centered towards the Rotary engine. Only way that for that to be 100% certain is obviously if the constructor of this puzzle comments about it and confirms it. But what you see here in the thumbnail is actually essentially the story of when I bought that Mazda RX-8. It was a used car, it was all the way across the city, and essentially I was basically racing back trying to get to Mrs. Sleuth's household before sunset. There's a bit more to that story, but I'm not sure I necessarily want it to be publicized on YouTube, so I'm going to let that one go. Let's take a look at the rule sets, what we have in store for today. So fairly straightforward set of rules. There is literally only the two. Normal Sudoku rules apply, and then one variant. So Rotary by jsmirob. Sorry, I'm mispronouncing your handle here, but let's give this a go. So normal Sudoku rules apply. That means place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. And of course, in the center, this is what I meant by that reference potentially to the Rotary engine. The only thing that sort of throws that off is it's got kind of 4 axes, but at least the Mazda RX-8 has only got the 3. I do remember that Mazda released a brand new Rotary engine fairly recently, and I don't know if they've actually changed it. So it's got 4 parts of the cycle as opposed to 3. Anyhow, the box borders divide the blue lines into segments with the same rules. So this is sort of the region sum line. Essentially, every cell in here. No, let me try that again. Each box will have a number of cells on the same blue line. They have to add up to a value that's going to be the same in every segment of that line. So these 3 values, the sum of these 3 cells would be the same in here, the same in there, same in there, same in there. So, fancy driving a Rotary engine car? They do drive quite smoothly if, they were absolutely petrol guzzlers. Link will be in the description down below as usual for you to play along. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. So I'll tell you sort of what I'm noticing almost straight away. Aside from the rotational symmetry of this puzzle, I say rotational is very loosely used here because clearly the digits are not going to be rotationally symmetrical. It still could be. That 1, for example, could have a 9 in here. That 1 could have a 9 in there. So that is still possible. In fact, almost tempted to say it's mandatory based on the rotational symmetry that I see in the puzzle, but let's set that aside for a second. So essentially, there are 4 different region sum lines. That's 1, that's 2. They all roughly look the same. They all happen to have a box in which 3 cells occur, and 3 is quite significant because essentially the minimum would be 1, 2, 3, which is 6. So we're limited to sums that are 6, 7, 8, or 9. And the sum is important because they're always in a single cell as well. So it's not just that there is 3 to it, 3. There's always cells that are 1 cell. There's always a segment that is only 1 cell long in multiple boxes. So essentially, these 4 are from 6, 7, 8, 9, and they're all different because they all have to be in the same box in box 5. Now, what I'm very tempted to do is essentially start doing a bit of coloring. All of these add up to a value. All of these add up to a different value. All of these add up to another value. And all of these add up to another value as well. And time for us to do a bit of coloring. And for example, on the region sum line that is yellow, we know that the yellow cannot possibly be on the line itself because it can't be yellow joined with two zeros. So yellow's not here. Classic Sudoku says yellow's not there. Only place for yellow in box 2 is in here. And we're going to go around and just color as many cells as we can, just to sort of see what does that create. That's red. Yeah, that's orange. So that's all the easy ones. Can we do better? So you see, one of the tricks that I'm sort of leading up to, and it's just in the back of my mind, that in general, most of these region sum lines do not contain the other colors. Mostly. So this green line here, which is 6, 7, 8, or 9, can almost never include the other digit 6, 7, 8, 9, with one exception. One of these could be 1, 2, 6, adding up to 9s. But that will be the only exception where one of these 4 colors happens to be on the region sum line of a different color. So orange is one of 2 cells. I am going to start using flashes for a bit. Again in here. Yeah, not great. And the last sort of orange is in quite a few places. It's basically almost any of these, not the one. So I'm going to ignore actually none of these. Hang on, excuse me. These 4. So one of these is orange. Okay. Reds, let's just have a think about those as well. No reds. Red is in one of 2 cells in here. Red is in one of 3 cells in there. And red is in one of 2 cells in here. That may actually be very useful. There you go. I said this may well be very useful because this one, we know that red is not going to be 1. We're not going to get 3 cells, these 3 cells, to add up to 1. And classic Sudoku is saying that red is in none of these, not the 1. This is where red is. Now take a look at classic Sudoku. None of these are red. We know because of box 5 that red is different from yellow and orange, so none of these are red. And look at what it does now. Red is restricted to these 4 cells, these 4 cells. Only place for a red in row 3 is in here. And we've got our first digits finally at minute 5. All of these now are 6. Yellow is the 9. Green, I can now confidently say, is 7 or 8, as is orange. Now, with the 6 is 1, 2, so that actually gives me where orange is, up here. That's orange. That's again 7 or 8. Now, we can use this immensely useful deduction now because I know that none of these contain the other colors. So, for example, yellow in box 4 can't be on the line anymore. That's yellow. Excuse me, that was meant to say 7, 8, not 8, 9. So that's yellow. That's the 9. I'm sure I can do a bit better. Yellow. Yellow is in one of 2 cells. Yellow again is in one of, oh, hang on, but different 2 cells this time. So yellow is in one of 2 cells in here, which actually lines up with these 2 cells. This is yellow. That's 9. So this is making, I'm fairly comfortable now with the direction we've taken this in. So in here, what have I not thought about? I've not thought about green. So now these are green. This is not green. Greens are one of 2 cells. Not sure. Yeah, green cannot be on here. That's green. Greens are none of these. Greens are in one of these 2 cells. They line up again. So green can only be in here in box 3. And all of these are 7, 8. And we've got an X-wing of greens. Can we do something similar with oranges now? Yeah, oranges cannot be on the region sum line. That's the orange. What else can I do? Let's just have a think. Right, that's not orange anymore. Orange, orange. Orange is in one of two cells. In fact, orange is just placed here in box 1. That is not orange. That is orange. That is 7, 8. Is that all the oranges actually placed? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, that's all the oranges. All the greens as well, maybe? No, we've got this X-wing with the greens. Yellows, we've got an X-wing with them. Otherwise, we are done with all the other yellows. Just a quick check. 3 of them. 2, 2, yeah. And then 6s, we should be pretty close to done. Why am I not? Yeah, 6 can't be on a 7, 8 region sum line because the minimum that would be 1, 2 plus 6. That gets me to 9. That is not red. That is red. That's my 6. These now are not 6s. That is the 6. Now I am tempted to actually lose the colors if I'm honest and just go for standard pencil marks instead. 9, no, because of the 7, 8s. Right, we'll leave that as it is. Let's crack on with the 1s and 2s. That's 2, that's 1. I know these are 3, 4, 5. It's not significant. Let's think about 1s in here. None of these are 1. There's a 1. In fact, 6s have to be 1, sorry, have to be 1, 2, 3. These are 1, 2, 3. That's not a 1. That's not a 2. That could be 1, 2, or 3. All of these actually, all of these 3 sum lines, 3 cell region sum lines that are not 9s have to have a 1. Because if you don't have a 1, that would be 2 plus 3 plus 4, which adds up to 9. That is too big for 7 and 8. So all of these have, and this doesn't have a 4. So green is 8. Essentially, the minimum I can put on here, other than 1, 2, 3, and it's not 1, 2, 3 because that's not 6, is 1, 2, 5, which is 8. And therefore, orange is 7. This is now 1, 2, 4. The green cells, and I don't think I need the colors after this anymore, we can actually just place a digit in here. It is a 3. And yeah, I am going to lose the colors now. I've got all the corner pencil marks I need. We're done. Just classic Sudoku to go from here. It's a lovely puzzle so far. Let's have a think about where to go next though. So 1, 2, 4, these are the 8s. 3 is not in here, so this is a 3, 8 pair. That's the only place for a 5. That's not a 5. That's 1, 2, 4. This is not a 2. This is 1 or 4. That's not a 4 either. That's 1, 2, 5. We have another 1, 2, 5 plus a 3. There's 3 in here plus 1, 2, 5. I will pencil mark it. Feels over pencil marked already to me. With a 3, 8, that means this is 1, 2, 4, 5. Not getting the significance of that. I did say there's a 3 and then didn't write it. Let's add the 3. What are these? This is probably more interesting actually. So we've got 1, 2, 3. And then I have 4, 5, 9. And interestingly, I'm not able to restrict it, other than the fact that the 9s are on this end. Ones maybe? Yeah, only place for a 1 in box 3 is here. That's a 6. That's a 6. That's the X-wings on 6 is done. That's a 2 now because of that 1. This is a 1, 3, 5. These are not 2s. This is a 1, 4. These 3 cells are going to be 3, 5. 2, 3, 5 in fact. 2, 3, 5. This is not a 2. 2, 3, 5. We have another 2, 3, 5 plus a 4. Not very interesting. Yeah, I'm not going to look at this right now. There's probably other more interesting tricks. So I looked at the 1. So we were given digits for a reason. Let me just use those digits for a bit. Not very useful, no. The 4 was used because it was breaking and giving us the 8 and 7. So that's the main reason for the 4. Only place for a 4 in row 3 is in here. And this is 3 or 5. 4s are now restricted to these 2 cells. Where does 1 go? Still plenty of places for it. This is 1, 2, 3, or 5. It's interesting because it creates a quadruple in row 7. That is placed. That is a 4. Down here we need 3, 5, 8. That is not the 8. Sadly, this could be though. So 3, 5, 8. Hang on. 3, 5, 8. That's not an 8 though. Just messy pencil marks. You know, so this is sort of my challenges. Whenever I start to over pencil mark like I am doing right now, it goes very slowly. So I mean, this box I really should have paid more attention to. What have I got in here? I did say it's 3, 4, 5 from the start. Not very useful. Hmm. 1, 4 pair. That's a 2. That's not a 2. That's not a 2 either. This is another 1, 3, 5. It could be any of them. There's no restrictions. We need a 2 in one of these 2 cells, and I don't know which one. Have I used all the region sum lines? This is just going a bit slow. I'm sort of surprised by that. Nope. I'm just not great at classic Sudoku. 1, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3. No, it's not giving me anything here. I'm going to keep pencil marking. We know that there's a 1, 3, 5, another 1, plus the 4, plus the 9, plus a 2, which I can't even place. This column 1 is made up of 2, 4, 5. I mean, other than the 4 is down here, no real restrictions. 2, 5. This is 2, 3, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, no real restrictions. That's not a 5, but again, 5 could be in either box. Right. Ones. Not very interesting. Twos. Not hugely interesting. Sort of. Yes, it is. So twos are restricted to these 2, meaning there are no 2s in any of these. 2s are in the bottom row in here. 1, 3. That means this is 4 or 5. Threes, how many have we placed? Not many at all. Like none. So 3 and 3 means 3 is in one of 2 cells. Okay. 3s are not here. 3s are lining up. That's a 3. This is 2, 5, 8 still. It's not a 5. It's 2 or 8. Let's have a think. What else? That gives me 8, 3. We know that there's a 3 now in one of 2 cells. 2 cells. Yeah, not brilliant. Okay. What about across here? No, that doesn't really do much. What about 4s? Any similar magic? Not really. 5s. Yeah, not really again. 6s, 7s, 8s, and 9s are done. So can I break this X-wing? Yes, I can. 8, 5, 2, sorry, 8, 2, not 2. That's a 3, 5. That's a 2, 4. I can type. I really do insist that I can type, but then it doesn't go so smoothly most of the time. What does that 2 give me? That gives me a 3, a 1, a 2, a 5, a 1, a 3, a 5, not a 1, not a 1. That's a 3, 5. Let's try that again. That's a 3, 5 pair. That's 1, 4. We need another 1, 4, and a 2. The 2 is in here. That's 1, 4. Doesn't help me up there, unfortunately. That 2. No. No 5s. That's a 3. That's the 5. That's the 2. That's the 4. That's the 2. These are not 4s. They're a 3, 5 pair. That's the 4. 1, 4, 1, 4. That's looking much better now. 3, 5, way better. This is not 4, that's a 5. 4, 9 pair, anything solved? Nope. The 2 helps me though. That's a 2, that's a 4. This is 4 or 9, it's a 9. 4, 9, and if I've not made any mistakes, that's a 1 for the finish. It is an absolutely beautiful puzzle. Excuse the slightly clumsier classic Sudoku solve there at the end. I think I will stick to not over pencil marking like I normally do. I know it does occasionally frustrate some of you, but I missed a few things that should have just been a bit quicker. But it's a phenomenal puzzle, jsmirob. Lovely kind of logic there to break the rotary, get all of these going. The forcing, because of the 1, 4, to place the 6 on the line, giving you the 9, the 4 to break the 7 and 8. Just fantastic construction. Really, really solid logic. Love the puzzle. Hope that you guys enjoyed it too. We do have a few Region Sum lines featured on the channel, so take a look at this recommended playlist to yourselves. Bye-bye for now.